Yo, what's going on, everyone? It's Jacob Clark back here at Commerce Connects, here with Hannah.
What's up?
And we have a special guest today. Her name's Taylor Rains. She's a social media manager here in Wichita, Kansas, but she's from Dallas. Taylor, take it away.
Hey, I'm Taylor. I'm super excited to be here. This is my first podcast.
Ooh, let's go.
Very special. But yeah, I'm kind of influencer / content creator turned social media manager, and I love it. I'm having a lot of fun. So I'm excited to kind of chat about the space and teach people all the things because it's honestly a really interesting space.
Okay.
It is, yeah.
So, what's some of the... Let's just jump into it. Hot take. Does every business need like social media management or content creation? Like outsource?
Jump right into
Yeah.
Yeah, we're just gonna hit it hot. We're gonna hit it up.
I would rather. Okay. So, I mean, I think it's yes or no. I think right now the best way to get out there is social media. I mean, that is the language. It's the modern day billboard and newspaper. Like, it's in front of everybody's face, and we can take advantage of the algorithm. So if you sell stamps, Instagram and TikTok are going to do a really good job to get your clientele right in front of you and put you in front of them. So I would say, yes, I think it's an amazing tool. And unless people just know about you through word of mouth, this is the way to get in front of people, not just locally, but globally.
Oh, definitely. Yeah, and globally is a big thing because, I mean, even if you are a localized business, I mean, just having the recognition globally, United States, whatever. So
Oh, yeah.
it's huge.
Oh, yeah. And it's so easy to blow up. Like, you never know what's going to take off. I think people get really, like, bogged down in the idea that, like, I have to dance or I have to be somebody I'm not or I have to whatever. And honestly, I think socials have a real, like, desire for the underdog to win. So once you blow up, people are kind of like, oh, you blew up, whatever.
I agree, yeah.
You know what I mean?
We kind of talked about that on the last episode, being like organic and just being you. And that, I mean, that sells. Like, people get it.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, because people want authenticity. They want you. That's why I tell all my clients, I'm like, your product is awesome, but people don't just want to see, like, shampoo all the time. Like, they want to connect with you and who you are. And once you can get that, like, wall broken down, it's, you know, that's what sells.
Yeah.
Exactly.
You.
Most definitely.
And that's
Yeah.
one thing like I've noticed really heavily is, we hit on this a little bit, was the whole like brand story content. For me, I've always seen like if a company comes to me and they're like, hey, where should we go first? I'm like, okay, do you have the content out there that shows who your staff is, who you are? Why did you start the company? Let's get that out there first.
Yeah.
So people can connect with the company.
I totally agree. Like, it's one thing that my clients always are hesitant about. Like, we talked about this just the other day. But one thing that people are always hesitant about is when I say, okay, one of your content pillars, which we can talk about, is we're going to connect. And we're also going to entertain. And so that involves you being yourself, which is usually really funny. Like, people want to put this persona of like, I am so important. And it's like, yeah, sure, you're great. But also, are you funny? Like, are you quirky? Are you really serious? Are you a nerd? Like, what's your thing? And I just feel like getting to know people and then showcasing that thing that no one would see unless you really knew them.
Exactly.
You know what I'm saying? Like,
that's
we can do
relatable.
that.
Yeah.
Exactly. Like, we can do that with social media. It's just really cool to be able to like pull that out of people and then show like, hey, by the way, we're getting views on the stuff that you're in and where you're being you.
Yeah. Well, and that's like, you can have the content that, like, for real estate agents, makes it easier for me to explain this. Like, we could just show off a house, but why don't we have the agent show off the house?
Right.
Like, once you put the face in there, I mean, we've even noticed it with content that we've done is when there's a face in it and there's somebody talking, it's going to have more retention rather than just a general highlight video. And that's where within that same space is you have to stay true to yourself, like you said, because if you're not a funny person, don't try to crack jokes. People will see through that. And
Like, you're still not going to be funny.
it might be funny because you're missing on it,
Right.
but also they're not going to take you that serious. Like, for me, I like to think I'm more analytical, and I like to look at, like, if I can preach numbers, I want to preach numbers. And that's where, like, I know that's where my space is.
Wait, I think you're funny.
Well, sometimes.
I think you're funny. You have great hair.
Oh, I love my hair. I need to shave. It's kind of long today.
It's kind of long.
But still, like, that's where, I mean, there's people like yourself. Like, you can have the more lighthearted content, but also you can still be serious as well.
Yeah.
And that's where people just need to figure out who they are as a person really before they start the whole content journey. Obviously, you can try, but if you go into it knowing exactly who you are and the audience that you want to go for, I mean, you're going to be 10 steps ahead of a lot of them.
Oh, totally. One of my mentors is like, social media is her world. And I remember when I first started, we had lived in this really small town in Arkansas. It's called Hardy, so shout out Hardy, all three of us. But we lived in this tiny town, and there really wasn't a lot to do. And so I wanted an outlet, and I made that social media. And so I had a YouTube channel, which does not exist anymore, so you will not find it. But I wanted to just create stuff. I wanted to have an outlet. I loved fashion. I loved music. I loved life stuff. And so that was kind of my jam then. And so there was a boutique in town, and they were like, hey, we want we need more clients. And I was like, cool, I'm poor and I need more clothes. So what if I make you some content? And it's just kind of a cool way to just connect and support people. And, it's like social media now is kind of your business card. So being able to create a space and help people see this is what we offer, and it's fun and it's cool, and this is the owner, and all of it just matters.
Yeah. Yeah. I like how you said it's your business card, and a lot of the times, even if you aren't a business and it's just you, that's your resume, that's your business card, that's you. So if you, put on you have good social media, that can just benefit you as a person.
Exactly. And that's where we can go into another topic with that. Working for trade. I mean, you talked about that.
Yeah.
Where some influencers are very much I would rather just get paid. For me, there's a time and place for trade. Obviously, if you get to the point where you have 15 restaurants trying to give you a meal to do content, that doesn't make sense.
Yeah.
But there's also other times where I'm very happy to do the trade work, because that's the times it makes sense. What's your thoughts kind of on doing stuff for trade? Are you more wanting to do trade work or do the other route where they pay you?
Yeah, it really just depends. For my friends, I will ride or die for my friends. Y'all know this. And the way that I started out was in a small town, and this might sound whatever, but a quote that I live by is see the light in people and treat them as though that's all that you see. And so in my business, that's what I do. I work with clients that I really believe in. And it's not that if I've turned someone down, I'm like, oh, you're trash, sorry. It's not like that.
But there is those times where
it's not a good fit.
Yeah, if you can't see their vision as much as they are, know where to say no. And that's another impactful thing.
Well, because that's better for both of you at that point. Because then, you've got someone that's equally as passionate about what you're doing, or can at least see the vision of why this matters to you. Because you have a business because you're passionate.
Yeah.
And so I'm here to help people see what you're bringing to the table. So the trade conversation, I'm down to do trade. Also, this is now my full-time job. So if I did everything for trade, I would have 1,000 sandwiches and hair dryers and not be able to pay my bills. And so, there has to be some give and take. And I would say, from my clientele, it's all been word of mouth and relationship. I've never once had to promote myself for any of this. And I don't really like doing that anyway, which sounds weird because I do like influencing. But I don't need to do that. Yeah. I'm really specific on here's who I want to work with. Here's why. I came from pretty stressful work environments or where I just had no margin. And it's not a bad thing, but when you have a kid and a family and you might want more kids and whatever, it's okay, what's our priority here? So I just had to get to the point where I was comfortable saying, hey, I can't do this for a trade. But also, here's what I'm bringing to the table. And I know my worth, and I know my value, and I know yours. Yeah. So, and I know you can pay me. You know what I mean?
And that's where the easy transition is. If you've been doing something for trade for a while, okay. You've seen my work.
You see what I brought.
You keep coming back.
Yeah, your numbers are up. So I know you're making a little extra. And that's the thing. A lot of businesses, you have to invest in certain things. And nowadays it's social media to, get that back. So, trade is cool to start. But then, like you said, you get to a point where it's okay, well, this is my full-time job. Yeah. I got to start making some bread. I can't, live off of, because that's how I started my influencing thing is I just did all trade. I was an athlete.
Which is so cool, by the way.
Yeah. Oh.
You have such a cool social media.
It's okay. So I just was I want some clothes like you. I was okay, I'm traveling, send it to, this hotel. But now that I'm, grown, it's I need, to pay my rent. So give me the money.
Give me the money.
So how long ago did you move up here from Dallas?
Oh gosh. Okay, so
yeah, give me this story.
Here's the story. We've moved a bunch of times, so I'll spare you like my whole life story. But I grew up in a ministry family, so we moved. It's about every like 2 to 5 years is pretty common to move, and that's about what it's been like. So it's pretty cool because we've gotten to be in a lot of places, but mostly from like the Texas area. I lived in South Texas for a while, Arkansas, which was interesting. And then Kansas, and we lived in Colorado, like just kind of all over the place. But Kansas has been interesting because Kansas is very much like, it's like a small town in the way that like people like to interact. So like relationship is so important with business, with social media, with everything. But it's also kind of like, I wouldn't say a big city, but like a city in the sense that like we're growing and we care about development, and you can tell people are really invested in like change. Yes. And so I think that's where social media has really played in recently. It seems like with Dallas, things are very much like it's on. It's before, it's, you know, it knows what's coming up before most other places. With Wichita, she's trying, you know, we're getting there. We're just a couple of years behind the trends. And so I think it's been really cool having the opportunity to live in Dallas and then come here. But we moved here, 2.5 years ago. We moved to San Antonio for like 9 months. It was really hot. And I had an amazing job, but it just was not working for our lifestyle. I worked Wednesday to Sunday. Austin worked Monday to Friday. And then I was working even more than that. And so we were just like not seeing each other. So we decided to come back about 2.5, 3 months ago. So here we are.
So now that you're back, do you think the Wichita market's finally picking up social media, going on that?
Yeah, I would say yes, especially more than the last time I lived here. It just seems like people are starting to understand that social media is a tool and it's not a hindrance. And if you're not getting on the social media bandwagon, you're just kind of missing a really great opportunity, is the way that I would see it. But I just feel like even with the way that like all of my clientele has been word of mouth, people know that there's value in what I'm doing and what so many other people are doing. They're just starting to see now like, okay, I didn't invest in learning this and take it seriously, and now I'm having to pay somebody to do it. Or, hey, I don't want to take the time to do this, and you shouldn't have to.
Yeah. So what are, speaking of that, what are some of like the misconceptions people have about being a social media manager? Like even whether it's businesses, people in general, like, does a business really need one, or can they do it themselves? Or do you find, obviously we all in this room find it like a positive, and I think, depending on the business, people need it, but what are your thoughts on that?
Yeah, I would say, like we said earlier, like I think it's a great tool, and I've seen all of my clientele and their friends who are reaching out to me now are seeing that social media makes a huge difference. So it's not just seeing the positive Google reviews, and then you go to our Facebook and our Instagram and our TikTok and you're seeing who the client is and what the experience is and what the product is. Like, it's just so good and so valuable. I would say the misconceptions of social media and social media management, it just seems like social media is synonymous with unprofessional. And that's not my vibe at all. Like, I'm a lot of fun, but I have a master's degree in organizational leadership. And so all of my clientele are freaked out by how like creepily organized I am. I literally send my clients every month, I send them an analytics report, and someone messaged me back and they were like, if a report could be sexy, this was a sexy report. So I don't know. Like, I think that would be like the hardest thing to get past. And that's what I do, is I just hit it head on with clients. I'm like, listen, I know there's hesitation with even hiring someone and like what this space even is, but I pretty much just hit it head on, and I'm like, hey, this is why it's valuable. This is what I offer. Here's your problem. Here's a solution. And here's problems you actually didn't know about that I'm also going to solve. So yeah, I think it's great.
And that's important because, like I said this in the last episode, like business owners, they don't know what they don't know. So if there are problems that they don't know that can be fixed, that's a benefit to them. And then, having a social media manager, someone who runs that, can show them, and then it's going to benefit them honestly right away with whatever problem that may be.
So. Totally.
Obviously, there are multiple social media platforms. Do you manage all of them from YouTube, LinkedIn to TikTok, Instagram, Meta, Facebook, or do you have a couple platforms that you mainly focus on? And what are the ones businesses should focus on?
Yeah. Well, a lot of clients are wanting more let me start over. Instagram is where people are making sales. That is the one that I am suggesting, let's push hard into this. Even though TikTok is where it's at, a lot of my clientele, I have med spas. I'm in the fashion beauty space. And so their clientele seems to be more still on Instagram.
Yeah.
It's that millennial market, right? TikTok is more of our Gen Z market, and they're ready to buy some clothes.
That's true, yeah.
But Instagram seems to be where it's at. So I manage Facebook, Google, TikTok. Did I say Instagram? No. Instagram. I don't do YouTube because none of my clients are on YouTube. Yeah. And personally, I don't want to edit YouTube videos. They're so long. So that's kind of my jam. But I would suggest just staying at least within Facebook, Instagram, TikTok, because you can repurpose all that content. So why not take advantage?
Another good one, Snapchat.
I haven't thought about that lately.
Especially yourself.
Yeah.
You're about to go up to Kansas City.
Mm-hmm.
You should really be utilizing that platform.
Yeah.
That's where a lot of the more vlog era people are moving towards. Your David Dobrik's, there's a local guy, Tanner Brungart.
Yeah.
He has almost completely backed out of YouTube just because the pay that he gets from Snapchat
is so much more.
Yeah.
And that's crazy because just in my mind, for some reason, Snapchat has always been a personal platform. That's where I, have all my friends, but really they've made it into something where you can heavily monetize it as a business or even, your personal brand. So I have to probably do a better job at switching that over from this is all my friends to,
luckily with them too, they have obviously all those different groups. I have a whole different business page for the Jacob Clark that I want people to really see. That's where the whole business side goes. Obviously, if it's going to be more me hanging out with the boys or whatever, I'm going to put it on my personal story.
I've never used personal stories.
See,
I probably should.
There's a whole, it's on Facebook, you can do it too now, where it's you have the whole different levels to how public you want stuff. And that's
true, yeah.
I really think Snapchat is always seen as just strictly the personal, but people need to start realizing hey, I can get the ads before they kind of got more public about it. I was getting the best results, the cheapest results on Snapchat, mainly because at the time we were pushing music and events.
Yeah, okay.
The people that are listening to music are the 18 to 30, especially the hip hop that we were pushing. And then the events that we're pushing were either concerts or the sneaker shows, stuff like that, to where, again, that's that same demographic to where it's easy to push.
Yeah. Yeah, so would Snapchat be something that you would want to get into, I guess, with
now
businesses?
I do.
Yeah.
It's I do now that we're talking about it.
I'm a pro with Snapchat. No, seriously, I'm really interested in it. And I was talking with a friend who is full-time social media influencer / personality. And he told me the same thing, but it hadn't really dawned on me. I don't know if I should say this on camera, but it hadn't really dawned on me to use it for clientele.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Well, and I didn't think about it until Jacob just said it right now.
Jacob, you're so full of wisdom. Wow.
Good thing you have a podcast.
I know.
Hey, speaking of the podcast, I just want to give a quick shout out to our first sponsor, Buffalo Brew, hosted or located here at the Commerce Club, connected to
The National.
There we go.
The greatest place in Wichita.
It's pretty awesome.
But really, shout out to Buffalo Brew. We are. I would like to classify as an addict to Buffalo Brew. I am there every morning.
And they opened up 2 weeks ago?
If
and,
not.
And we're already addicts.
Yeah.
So it's okay.
They were closed one day and I felt like I was scratching at the door.
Right? It's like, oh, get me in. I need my fix.
No, every time I see you, you've got like the mega ultra size.
Put him on blast.
I
please.
mean, hey.
But we're not going to talk about the fact that it's off camera right now.
Yeah.
We wanted to
Give the little cup with the water.
True.
But no, for real. Shout out Buffalo Brew. If you're in the Wichita area, but also they have Valley Center.
Yeah, they have a lot of
Dorado.
locations. Yeah.
Go check them out.
Yeah, they're awesome. And follow them on social media too. We'll tag them.
Yeah.
So talking about like Snapchat as a trend, essentially, how do you keep up with the latest trends on social media and all the different platforms for your businesses? And is that something you follow along with when making content?
Yeah. So each of my clientele, obviously I have logins for their business accounts. And so what I will do is I'll take a couple hours a week and I will just make sure that I am scrolling specific, like if I'm talking about my med spa, for instance, I'm on the med spas account and I am scrolling and only engaging with relevant information. Okay. The reason I'm doing that is because I'm training the algorithm to give me things that are actually helpful for what I'm trying to put out. So I'm getting inspiration, obviously, but I'm also just making sure that like everything that's coming to that account has to do with either our client base or information that we could repurpose for our own content. So yeah, I just keep it very like strict with that. There's even sometimes where I'll go through and be like, this isn't your personal account, it's your business account. So I'm going to like, you can push like the 3 dots in the corner and say, I don't want to see stuff like this. Cause like, it's really not helpful for us. Like that's for your personal. We have to keep business as business, right? We have to keep your clients at the front. We don't need to see what Margaret's dog is wearing today. Like we really need to stay focused.
Yeah.
Yeah.
No, that's awesome. That's one thing where I've been more new to, I guess I should say, of the Manage to Create side, where I'm focusing on real estate. So I went through, I got it up to like 700 followers.
Nice.
But then I was like, okay, why do I have musicians and all these other people following me when they're not engaging with the real estate content? And so I went through and made everybody unfollow me that doesn't have anything to do with the real estate industry. And now I'm down to like 200 followers and people are like, why did you do that? But
hurts your engagement.
Yeah, exactly. And that's where it's like, I'd rather have a better engagement ratio than have a big follower number.
Yeah. Can I talk about a major oops that I had on social media?
Oh, yeah.
Okay, so I accidentally bought followers. And I really mean I accidentally bought them. And I'm really sad about it. I went through and I was getting all these ads on my page for like targeted ad placement. And I was like, oh, that's such a good idea. So I'm like talking with one of my friends and I'm like, should I do this? And she was like, yeah, it looks like a great idea. Yeah. So essentially what they were saying was, we're going to put your content out. It's like an ad on steroids, right? But you pay this much. And then they send it out to all these people and they engage for you. No, they don't. I got followed by like 2,000 people from like the Middle East. Like, you are not my market at all. So I'm still to this day this was like months and months ago, still going through and deleting people as they pop up, but it destroys your engagement rate.
Oh yeah.
And then you get flagged by Instagram. And so people don't realize like social media, it's like, it's hard. You have to really like try.
Yeah. Well, I was just say, like, you just can't trust anybody nowadays. I mean,
I know.
We all probably get them. The messages where it's like, grow your Instagram today. I can guarantee you X amount of followers. Like,
do
dude,
not
shut
ever.
up.
No.
Like, we know where that's coming from.
Yeah.
And it's very obvious. Like, I can look at so many different influencers and you can just see
tell
exactly where those followers came from. It's not hard to scroll through and click and be like, okay, this is someone that has one post. They follow 10,000 people and are followed by 10. It's one thing that a lot of people, I mean, like yourself, I mean, you're very well into this social media space and you didn't even know that's what you're getting.
Right.
And that's where a lot
and
of...
to be fair, it didn't come from a DM. It looked very legit.
Well, and that's the thing. There are some...
It's hard to tell now.
There's some secondary sites, even before you were able to, like, run ads on Instagram. So, I mean, they do it very well to, you know, try and trick you. And it just sucks, I guess, that we have that.
And before Instagram got keen to the whole buying followers, it like mainly, I guess, before Instagram, I guess my whole experience with the buying engagement side was YouTube. And that used to be a very viable thing. Like, I knew guys that would go out and buy 10, 15, 20,000 views as soon as they drop a video to jumpstart it into the algorithm. Because at that time, YouTube was just like a view is a view.
Yeah.
And it was something that worked, but now they can tell instantly. Like all these platforms, they're obviously smarter than what we are.
Yeah.
So it's like they can tell, okay, I clicked buy, and all of a sudden my account gets flooded, but none of my posts went viral.
Right.
Yeah.
So.
They can see it. Well, and there's plenty of websites that anybody can have and then plug in something. I mean, and when I'm signed with Viral Nation for all my social media stuff.
Yeah.
They had to pull my like page, and they said they're going to run a diagnostic on it to make sure I didn't buy followers, I didn't buy engagement. I don't know what they did, but they had to run some.
Shout out Social Blade. That's one that I use.
Social Blade's good.
Social Blade is a very good one to like track analytics.
Yeah.
I mean, I've been using them for years.
Yeah, you showed me them. Now I use them all the time.
Yeah, because Social Blade, I mean,
love that.
You can type in any username as long as they've already been in the system. It can kind of track it, and then really just see your engagement rates, how many times you've posted. It's funny too. You can even see when people go through and archive a bunch of posts or delete a bunch of posts off their page
Because that flags you too.
Yeah.
And it'll just say negative on there. And they give you a good rating and everything. So that's one thing I check myself every once in a while, just be like, okay, where am I rating? How? Because if you're rating good on there, Instagram's probably looking at you.
Yeah.
Well.
Right.
Yep.
Yeah. That's cool. Let's talk about viral. Everybody wants to go viral.
Yeah. That's
So let's talk about it.
Yeah.
I have heard so many of my clients or like potential clients, they're like, okay, can you make us go viral? And I'm like, yeah, but like you don't need to go viral. If you go viral, you have nothing to show for it right now. So one of the things that I like to kind of tell people is what we were talking about earlier. We had a whole conversation about social media before we sat down. We just shut up and sat down. But with going viral, it's great, but it's not always exactly the clientele you want unless the video that you specifically like is showcasing your business and what you want is viral.
Yeah.
The things that usually go viral are like the one-offs where you're just like in a mood that day and you just like say something and it just takes off. And then people come back to your page and they're like, wait, I was looking for more of this content, but you're this.
Yeah.
And so like, where's this stuff? So I just always tell my clients, I'm like, you have to have some great content out there. And when people come to your page, it has to be consistent. Like they're coming because they want to see more of whatever they just saw. And that's why I post similar things in those like content pillars, but not the exact same thing and not something like way left field. Like I think it's good to throw stuff in, but you have to have something pretty consistent going on.
Yeah.
And then, okay, you go viral. Awesome. Now people are coming to your page because of what they saw and they're getting more of it. And that's where you get the follow and that's where you get the clients and that's where you get the continuous engagement. So what's y'all's take on that?
Yeah, I mean, well, first off, I'm going to ask you a question. Do you think a business needs to go viral? Or if they put out, like, especially locally, if you're a local business, if you put out, good content consistently within your market, is going viral even a necessity at that point?
I wouldn't say it's necessary, but it's never a bad thing to go viral,
I mean, it depends,
right?
though, what type of local company they are.
Like, what is it?
Yeah, if it's like a local restaurant, it could help.
Yeah.
And it could get people to travel to you. It could put you on the map.
Yeah.
Get you in an SEO search kind of thing.
If they can order your stuff online.
Yeah.
But that's where it's like, if you're selling a product that can be shipped, going viral doesn't hurt.
Yeah. No, that would be amazing. But yeah, to your point, if it's just a local thing where you can only handle so much.
Yeah.
But going viral locally is a whole different thing.
Yeah.
And that's where I would rather tenfold have 1,000, 2,000 people here in Wichita view my stuff rather than 10, 20, 30,000 of everyone around the United States, because I typically only service the Wichita, Kansas metro area. So that's where I'm even at with it. Like, it would be cool to go viral on certain topics if it's more of like a consulting type of thing.
Yeah.
But also I see no personal need for it because the business I'm trying to build is a local business.
Exactly. So what would you say to clients that are like, I'm only getting 400 views or I'm only getting 1,000 views? Like, what would you say to them as like, let's say it's a small account and they're just trying, right? I think that's something that's just really discouraging for people. What would you say about the views?
I would look honestly at the engagement rate first. I mean, we're experiencing this right now. Hey, if you're watching this on TikTok, if we're clipping this one, our TikTok, we have 10, 15 followers on there.
Yeah.
But
17.
Oh, 17.
Hey, about to be 18.
But we just had a video hit like 600-700 views with 35 likes. And that's where I'm like, hey, that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
And that's to my point of having other companies, if they come in and they're like, oh, we only got 500 views. Okay, but how many likes did you get? Dude, that's 500 eyes on your stuff. If you have 300 followers, we're getting more views than you have followers. Let's keep running.
Yeah.
Well, and the insight in Instagram, it can show you if the view is from a follower or a non-follower. So if you're getting 500 views and 400 of them are from non-followers, then that's great.
Yeah.
So it's just really honestly digging into the analytics of it and where, like you said, engagement. Where are these views coming from? Are they followers? Are they new people? Just kind of like, because 400 people is a lot. I think we live in such the age of like millions of views, but it's like, I mean, let's put 500 people in this podcast room. We can't.
But even you have a way to stance on this because I mean you have videos that have 47 million views.
Yeah.
But there's times where we're texting each other, hey, we just hit 30, 40 views on this.
Yeah.
And it's crazy to see someone like yourself that has hit those numbers and just we're still so excited for the small wins.
Yeah. It's like we talked about, it's being grateful because, I don't need millions of views. I mean, it's cool. Don't get me wrong. Like, cool, but
I mean, it's an ego boost for sure.
For sure. But like people who are watching this, I'm happy when we get 500 on TikTok. I'm happy when we get 30 listens on Spotify. I'm almost more happy about that than I am about a viral video that it's really cool. I've got some followers from it, but this is something that's personal to me, and being grateful for it.
Yeah.
So
yeah. It's perspective.
Yeah,
for
exactly.
sure.
Yeah, because energy translate in positive energy into anything will make it work. So those businesses that are only getting 100, 200, 500 views, well, if you keep feeling negative about it, that's what the outcome's going to be. If you're like, oh man, I got 300 views, you're going to get 400. If you get 400, you're going to get 800, 1,000. And so if you keep having that positive outlook as a business, it's going to keep getting positive and everything's just going to blow up from there.
When it becomes about like using people, that's when I'm over it. I see right through it.
Yeah.
And I don't want anything to, even just like interactions with people. I'm like, you don't care about anybody in this room. Like, this is not fun for me. Like, why are you, I just feel like that translates to social media. And when somebody's grateful, you can tell. When someone's just like here for the views or here for the likes, it's like that we're missing the point.
Yeah.
It just starts feeling grimy.
Yeah.
Because
a little icky.
Yeah. There's no worse feeling, in my opinion. Like, just knowing that somebody's just there being just non-genuine. I mean, that just falls back on being genuine and authentic as a creator.
Yeah, well, and that's why we wanted to start this podcast is because we want to get a whole bunch of people who have a whole bunch of knowledge and know the space in different spaces and just give gems out. Be, authentic. Anti-gatekeeping.
Oh.
That's what we're here for.
Yeah.
Okay.
So with that, say that there is a small business that can't really afford a social media manager. What is one of the most important tips that you would give them?
Don't freak out and get organized. So I think it seems like the thing that is holding people back from posting is one, just fear of looking stupid, which whatever. Like, nobody cares. Try something new. Like, why not? It's literally what I built my business off of, was trying stuff and then being like, nah, I hate this. So, it just find what sticks. But one thing that's really helped me and helped my clients is a content calendar. Is it okay if I kind of dive?
Go. Yeah, do it.
Tunnel.
So, tunnel.
Jump right in.
Rabbit hole.
Let's begin. All right. So, content calendar. On this content calendar, you can decide, I want to post 3 times a week. You can decide you want to post 2 times a week. I would just try to start with 3. I feel like you'll actually start to see some good momentum. 2's kind of like me. Try to do between 3 and 5. But there's these things called content pillars. And with a content pillar, you can do the basic ones, which is entertain, inspire, connect, promote. Like we've all heard these, educate. And basically what this is like, think of it like if you're in a spreadsheet, if you're visual like me, I'm seeing this in my brain right now. Okay.
The Kanban view?
Yes, the Kanban view. So right here, if we've got connect, that's anything that's going to be like helping people feel like, hey, I see you. I want you to, let's get to know each other. So like, get ready with me. Here's what I'm doing today. Here's makeup I really like. Here's a soccer ball that kicks really far. Like, I don't know. Yeah. So that's our connect. For promote, that's any of your like ads, anything that you're selling, any kind of a deal that you're doing. I think you get it by now. Does that? Yeah. Okay. Yeah. I'm trying to like give context for people that really just don't know.
That are
But what you do is you just come up with one idea for each of those pillars, and then you film content. Or you make a post, or you take a picture and you write a caption, and then you schedule your content and you don't think about it. Like if you can just sit down for an hour and like plan, and then an hour and film and get content, like you're good.
Yeah.
So if you can just take out the frustration of I don't know what to post and start training the algorithm and saying, here's what I want to see, and then kind of replicating that, but in your own unique way. That's what I think works and what really just takes the frustration out of it.
Yeah. Cause a lot of, small business owners, they get frustrated because they don't know how to do it. And, maybe they don't have the budget for a social media manager. And what would you say to like a small business owner or somebody who's scared to be in front of the camera or self-conscious about making content? Like, how do you like overcome that barrier? Because at some point we have to.
Yeah.
So what, have you ever ran into clients who are like, oh man, I know I need you, but I don't know if I want to, be in the front.
I gotta tell you, every single one of my clients has been like, all right, I'll hire you and you can be the face. and I'm like, no, like, that's not what I'm here for. You're the face. Like 100%. This is your business. We're here for you. Like I'm writing captions in your voice. Yeah. Like people want to see you. They don't want to see me. And honestly, I don't want to be the face of everything because it'd be freaking weird. Like it makes me feel weird. So all of my clients have been at one time or another, like, I don't want to be in front of the camera. And so what I do is I get to know them. I get to know what they're passionate about. I get to know what their business is about. I research it because I'm a closet nerd, and then I will learn everything about your business. And then I will make those content pillars. I'll make your little calendar, and I'll sit you down in front of the camera and ask you a question that only you know the answer to. But also that I researched. Here's the top 10 things people are asking about. Botox. Can I die? I don't know. But you know who does know? Tavari at Zhuzh.
Yep. Is that a shout out too?
That's a shout out, my friend. But yeah, like let's like hit the content, and you're the expert. It's easy to talk about when you're talking about something you love.
Yeah.
So sit down and talk about something you love.
I love it.
And then post it.
Yes. Yes. Just post it.
Just post it.
Exactly. Now, that's like the power of why we started this. As she's already said too, it's like there's a lot of stuff where like I can say it one way, she can say it another, and you'll say it a third way, and everyone's gonna take it a different way. And that's what this whole just the power of this podcast. I'm already excited for.
Yeah,
it's already been fun. This is great.
It has been fun.
I love it.
Yeah, I told Jacob earlier, I was like, if anyone else had asked me to do this, I probably would have said no.
No, you like us, so let's go.
No, y'all are like so fun and chill, and like you're just always a good time.
Oh,
yeah. Thank you. It's been fun.
That's the whole goal of this is just to, one, get to know everyone better, but also two, just help give the knowledge.
Yeah.
There's no reason that we shouldn't be able to sit down and do this and feel like we have to hold back on information. Like the whole content pillars, stuff like that. A lot of people might think they kind of understand that, but you really do have to break it down to people.
Yeah,
and be like,
for sure.
You can have like a Venn diagram aspect where it's like some stuff will overlap. You can have fun, you can have informative, but really it's like, okay, what's the pure basis of every piece of content? And being like intentional with your content. That's another thing. People are like, I don't know what to do, so I just film stuff, which is fine.
Yeah.
Like another thing that we forgot to do today
is set up the freaking
phone tripods.
Gosh, we will make it happen one day. We are brand new to this podcasting thing.
We talked about it last podcast that we forgot about it. I thought about it when I was bringing on the lights.
And we both have 2 phones too, so there's no reason.
Yeah, and we both have phone tripods. I actually have 2 phone tripods.
Exactly.
That's actually why I'm here. This is really an intervention. Get it together.
Thank you, Taylor. We
You're welcome. See ya.
Yeah.
Mic drop or push away.
Yeah. So.
But yeah, film your stuff because
Yeah.
you need it.
Just
get
do
behind
it.
the
Just
scenes.
do it.
I mean, to be fair, we don't have a producer for this really. Like that's why I have been staring at every camera, looking at the battery percentage, making sure it's all recording, checking the board every 2 minutes to make sure it's all going. But yeah, like the importance of social media, like I really wanted to hit on that. That's why we wanted to bring you on too, just because I've noticed it here in Wichita that I go to a company, I'm like, hey, let's work. Like, let's do some content and let's help grow your socials. And they're like, it's not that important right now. Like, I really don't want to invest into it. Like, I'd rather do a billboard.
Yeah.
And I'm like, cool, traditional, like, like the traditional marketing's cool. Like, I guess I'd almost rather have a billboard than a newspaper slot.
I don't know. Maybe it's just me, but I'm not looking at billboards.
I'm not either.
I mean,
Hey, to be fair, shout out Mark.
Oh.
I did see his billboard.
I did. That one was cool.
Yeah, I was driving, and mainly because we're up here at the Commerce Club. I saw Commerce Club on a billboard, and I was like, hold on. And I looked, and I saw it was Mark, and shot was for the fashion show.
Which I'm so sad that you weren't there.
I know. I was supposed to walk in it, and just a
know.
lot happened. But I will be at the next one.
Hey,
Good.
there will be a next one because
And
it was
I
a
will
hit.
be
Shout out
there.
Mark. Shout out YBG.
Crushed it.
We both accidentally wore the same shirt today.
This wasn't on purpose. We're just that insane.
Yeah, we came down, or I came off the elevator and I saw her and I was like, oh. Well, we're just going to stay twinning today.
Yeah, we're twinning, and then we're like, Taylor doesn't have one with us.
Yeah.
But, it's okay. We're all kind of matching, though. It's kind of
We are.
Kind of the
a vibe.
green.
Yeah,
Kind of
the
matched
vibe.
the room today.
Yeah, we try over here.
This plant keeps tickling me. So
Oh, yeah.
we all match. We're all matching.
That's kind of the issues of putting that one over there. We should tuck
okay.
him back a little bit more so he doesn't touch our guests.
Yeah, because
It's not bothering me. He's like, you're doing fine.
it's like, keep going, keep talking.
Keep
you're
going.
great. But yeah, no, fashion show was fun.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Definitely
I heard it
shout
was
out
insane.
Mark. That
Yeah.
was insane. It was
Yeah.
definitely, like, I wouldn't say I didn't know how it was going to turn out. Like, obviously, knowing Mark and his following, that it would be well.
Yeah.
But I didn't honestly expect it to go that crazy.
Yeah, it went
mean,
great.
The
yeah.
city, the amount of people that came out within, like, the creative lane
Yeah,
was
the creative
insane.
spaces. Yeah,
I mean,
and yeah.
Like, seeing, like, Jathan, Sammy, DeAdrian, all the photographers that came out. I mean, it was even cool to meet some of the new people, like Landon. Landon shot it. He's a younger kid. And just watching him work, and him and I had a couple conversations throughout the night, I was like, man, I see a lot of my younger self within him. And so, I mean, it was even before we got done cleaning upstairs that he posted photos from the event. And then
right away.
Really good photos.
Yeah.
And so I messaged him right away. I was like, bro, keep going. Like, there's no reason that you shouldn't keep going. Because that's how I was. As soon as I would leave a concert, I would instantly be in the Uber editing the stuff. And like seeing the youth nowadays be like that inspired in it, I'm like, all right, we have a bright future here in Wichita.
Oh, yeah. No, we definitely do. The creatives that came out were awesome. And speaking of the fashion show, so something like that in my mind is an event to essentially create social media content.
Oh, yeah.
Like that's what a fashion show is kind of made for. So how important are certain events like that to different businesses to just capture content?
Yeah. I mean, it depends on your business, right? But Bridley Boutique, shout out to Kelly. One of the best things that she ever did was get together local vendors and hold a fashion show in Gallery Alley right down the road.
Yeah.
And it just brought so many people. It brought so much awareness. But what you're doing with those types of collaborative events is you are reaching into all of their target markets, which, by the way, happen to be yours most likely, because if they're all coming together, they all have a shared vision and a shared passion, and now you get to be a part of that space. And so, I mean, like even just us meeting, it's like we all have the same things in common, but now we're able to talk together and hopefully help other people. Like, it's just so cool. I would say yes, as much as you can get together. Like, even if you're just taking people to coffee, like local leaders in the community, do it because you're just reaching a bigger audience and growing your network. And that's the beauty of Wichita is like we're kind of like this, you know. And once you're in, like you're in.
Yeah.
So take advantage of just connecting with people and building a family unit because the creative space here, I mean, it's tight and it's really, really cool. Because just like the fashion show, you see people like pull up for you.
Oh yeah,
they really genuinely care.
Yeah, people definitely pulled up for Mark too, and it's kind of like we're talking about social media, but kind of there's some times where you just need to get off the social media and get in person with those people, and because we'll create content together, but like you said, let's meet for coffee and chat it up, get to know each other one-on-one, and then that makes it so much easier to create the content and to have people come up and show out for you in your event, and you know, makes the closeness of Wichita even closer.
But to see somebody win that you know, and to see somebody win that you have like stayed with, you know, like there's nothing cooler than that feeling of seeing somebody just like thrive.
Oh yeah,
it's just so cool. It's awesome.
It's kind of almost a better feeling than actually winning yourself.
Yeah,
like
100%.
You're
I would
seeing
say
like,
so.
You're like, yes, like you're doing it. I'm so proud of you. Yeah.
Like when Mark came down the stairs.
Yeah.
Right after they did the final model walk and just like, I mean, throw a clip in there.
Yeah.
And just seeing all of the models and him just all cheering and having like that moment.
Yeah.
Man,
I was just like, okay, like that is why we do so much on our back end to like help push these other people.
Yes.
And like, because I didn't have like a super like prominent role in his show by any means, but being there to help film it and really just help talk him through like the whole setup process.
Yeah, and like the behind the scenes stuff before that, you know, we were involved with, just seeing it all of it come to like fruition and just like, it kind of gave me goosebumps when you were talking about it.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's just like, we've known Mark for some time now.
Yeah.
Like seeing him from the shopping grubs, the sneaker fest, and like really then honing in on doing, what was it, like 30 unique pieces.
Yeah.
And
that's a lot.
Like,
I don't know a lot about fashion, but
I mean, all one-on-one handmade.
It's impressive.
Like, it was really cool to see that like come to fruition.
Yeah. No, yeah, love that.
But how cool that all that ties together with social media.
Exactly.
And our heart for like promoting people here.
Yes.
Like that's like how we got to contribute to our friend was I saw your brain like
I saw the
splatter
firework,
donut.
and I was like, okay.
we need to figure out how to keep that on.
Yeah.
I think you can just change the setting.
Yeah, I think that was in some like one of my to-do lists that I never
Do you want me to go wiggle it?
Oh, no.
Okay.
Like, so if somebody's trying to get into the social media marketing lane, like, what's some advice there?
Okay. Well, everybody needs support. So I would say if that's something that you're passionate about, it is an amazing space. You have flexibility. You get to decide your hours. You can really support people with minimal, like, brain power. Like, you can really get ahead. And that's what I love about this space is you're not penalized for planning ahead. Like, it's so nice with a toddler. Oh my God. There's some days I come here for a couple hours and I just crank out as much as I can, but that's kind of the beauty of it. So I would say if you're interested, all you need to learn is like figure out how to use your phone. Figure out if you want to use a camera or if you don't want to use a camera. Like that's kind of the nice thing about social media is like it's your personality and people are going to hire you if they like your style.
Yeah.
And if they don't, they'll hire somebody else.
Yeah.
Like there's somebody for everybody. But just learn the algorithm, understand your client, and don't try to force them into a box. Like if you can care about people before you care about products, you will win.
100%.
That's
100%
powerful.
in everything.
Yeah.
But like
powerful. Yeah.
it's true. So if you can just take time to like care about your people and showcase them well and showcase what they do well in your own authentic way and stay organized, you'll be good.
That's one thing, like, I feel you on the organizational
Yeah.
side. You can ask Hannah. Like, I have airtables of
Yes.
everything. I have my folder structure on Dropbox is just very much like
You're speaking to me. I love it.
it is very much just like to the T. But Airtable has to be like my favorite.
Yeah.
Key
Love Airtable.
is like I can automatically have it say as soon as I mark something complete, it emails Hannah
Right away.
and whoever
Yeah.
else the link to the content that we produce. So it's, if they have to review it or for her sake posting it,
Yeah.
it's very much like here it is.
Yeah. And it's kind of nice because if you're visually aesthetic, it's so much cuter than spreadsheets.
Oh, yeah.
100%.
Oh, yeah.
I can't look at those. Like, my husband loves, like, spreadsheets, and I like Airtable.
Yeah, it's like, you use Notion, correct?
I do use Notion,
So.
and I switched to Notion because my clients were confused by Airtable, all of them. But I love Airtable.
Yeah, I
so
guess-
that's kind of an area where
Yeah.
I've felt like if you want to know my struggles, that's where I've had a hard time is like, one, where can you schedule content that actually like, what's a good scheduler?
Yeah.
Just stay on top of things. And then also like what works for your client to stay in the know, but also that's a really good system.
Yeah.
And like, especially like some of my team is in Kansas City. So it can get kind of dicey sometimes with like, okay, did you get this done? Where are you at with this? What's going on here? So yeah, like I feel you on that. Like you just have to stay super, super organized and find a system that works. And I do mean a system. Like you got to have something automated.
Yeah, most definitely.
It's a lot of work.
Yeah.
Yeah. And that's where I love granted, luckily a lot of my clients don't have to view Airtable.
That's nice.
And so that's definitely on my backwards, like the back facing type of thing is I really want to have that structure down because if I do have some like Hannah or even like yourself, I can just instantly send that out. But if there was a time where I did have to have clients view it, I definitely probably would use something like Notion because Notion is a lot prettier and they have like really cool templates and everything. Like I've used it for a little bit and I've been trying to do this whole like 30-day where I'm using both of them just to like really compare them. But then that's just a lot. So
Notion and Airtable?
Yeah. Like where I'm keeping the same stuff on both of them.
Yeah.
Just to see which one I enjoy more. And
Airtable.
Jacob does that a lot with stuff. He's like, I found this new program. And I found this other one. He's like, I'm using both at the same time. And I'm like, Jacob.
Yeah. I'd probably
How's your brain?
I mean, it's a double-edged sword. I'd probably be a lot more productive sometimes. I mean, it's
No, I love it. It's a good
like,
passion.
yeah.
You should review those things.
yeah.
I mean,
I know. I should probably do like content.
Comparison videos.
Yeah. Hey, and which we're working on one with the mics, but
Oh, yeah.
oh, quick tip, drop some advice. If you guys are looking for the best all-around mics, I can give you two options right now. The DJI mics, the wireless mics, and the Rode Mic Pros. Both are ones that I've used. Personally, right now, the experience of the DJIs are like my favorite for sure. But I mean, just because it's more user friendly.
Yeah.
But I mean, since I'm a camera nerd, I enjoy the Rodes as well. But if I'm like to just recommend straight to somebody and they're not running the law of clip-in mic, stuff like that, if they just want something simple that works,
Yeah.
DJI, 100%.
I'm curious to which one you're going to go with.
Yeah. We'll see. I got a couple more little test runs that I'm doing.
Oh, I
with
know.
them.
You're going to test your 30 days out of them.
Oh, 100%. I got 28 days to return.
To go, yeah. Well, and speaking of equipment, I think we were talking about this earlier. Camera or phone? What's you know the question better than I do, Jacob. Let's see.
So it really depends on the type of content, honestly.
okay.
Like obviously, podcast we're using 3 cameras. We could use a phone. We could get away with it, but in this aspect, I definitely say it's more industry standard to use a camera for a podcast.
Yeah.
But when it comes to user-generated content, I mean, if I'm trying to do a day in the life video, show me getting ready, and then go to the coffee shop, show me holding a drink, I'm not going to carry my camera around.
No.
And it's just going to feel more natural to the client and also to the viewers. Like, say, if it's mainly for ad content, you want the content to feel as natural as possible. So why not use something that they see all the time?
That's true.
But then again, there's other times where if I'm doing a dramatic interview, lighting, stuff like that, I really do want to use my cameras.
Yeah.
And so it's a time and a place for everything. But if you're just starting out, don't be afraid to use a camera or your phone.
Yeah.
I mean, like we've talked before, we both have multiple phones for that reason.
Yeah.
To where I do have a dedicated content phone that I know, hey, if I'm doing a day in the life or something like that, this phone is what I'm using.
Yeah.
So
Taylor, what do you create content mostly on?
Yeah. I usually use my phone.
Yeah.
And what I'll do is I use apps like Lightroom and I adjust my camera settings. And right now that's like what I've been using and what clients really want to see. I actually recently had a client.
Let's hear it.
You ready?
Hot take.
I had a client and girlfriend was like, I don't want you to put any any color editing. I want it completely to look just raw video. And I was like, okay, like we can do that.
Yeah.
But it was just kind of an interesting request because it was even like, I don't want camera, I want your phone. And now I did just order a fancy pants camera, which I'm really excited about, just to elevate the content because social media is starting to move, you know, the pendulum swings. It was super excellent content. And then it's just like, pretend you're like not even trying to hold your camera and you just happen to catch something.
Something cool.
Yeah, right. But now it's kind of moving back in that direction. And so I think it's just valuable to have both.
Yeah.
I
would
So
agree.
giving myself the option. But if I'm doing a day in the life, no way am I carrying my camera around.
There's no reason to.
Yeah.
Same thing with like your content.
Yeah.
I mean, a lot of your stuff is just on the go.
Yeah.
And
It's
so,
mainly phone stuff.
Yeah, it doesn't make sense to be carrying the cameras around.
Yeah.
Like, yeah, if you do want to get a little bit better quality. I mean, nowadays the iPhone 15 is insane.
Yeah. No,
Yeah.
I just got it. And like someone asked me, I posted a video for the Wichita Sky Kings pro basketball team. They're like, what did you shoot that on? I was like, my phone, like my iPhone 15. They're like, are you serious? It's like, yeah. I mean, just, I don't know. I didn't think it was that good, but yeah, no, they're really putting a lot into phones. But, you know, when you want that professional style business content, you know, which is really important to have both because the algorithm, like you said, it's pendulum. It swings in many different ways. So depending on what, you know, I guess someone wants is what you use. But yeah. I'm still a phone person unless Jacob's around. Then I go to him.
Yeah, I mean, it just really depends on, again, use cases. If I'm at an event and I'm trying to show an event recap, but I want it in the style of somebody that was attending the event, I'm using my phone. I'm going to go around, I'm going to be like, hey, just take my phone, act like you're taking a selfie. Stuff like that. To where it's going to give that feeling of FOMO more. Versus the high quality recaps that we do, which they work. I mean, they obviously sell tickets or else we wouldn't be doing it.
Right.
But it's a whole different thing. Like if somebody sees this video versus this one, they're gonna feel like the higher produced one is an ad versus one that just feels natural. Like, oh hey, this could have just been someone's story that randomly popped up on my feed.
Yeah, which is a good point. Like a lot of my clients, they want that connection element more than the super professional element. And not that one is more than the other, but they're just highly relatable. And small business. And so for them, they want the feeling of, I want it to be on your phone. I want it to feel like people are with me. And that's kind of, honestly, I think that's the clientele that I gravitate toward, and maybe just the people. Yeah. And so they're very much just like, I like your phone better. And I do have the 15 too, so the quality is just
it's there,
good.
And that's, you know, it's just I guess even just for me personally, it just depends on what I'm doing. I'm going to Kansas City. I'm not gonna bring. Someone asked me if I'm bringing a videographer. I'm like, no, I'm just gonna got my good old phone here. That's all I need.
You got a phone. You got the phone tripod. You have the gimbal to get the stable shots. There's a lot of stuff that you can get before you even need the camera. I mean, there's been some creators here locally that I've seen strictly shoot on their phone, that they'll bring in the extra lighting, they'll have the clip-on mics, they'll have all the extra equipment outside of a camera. And there's some content where I'm like, I wouldn't have been able to tell the difference. And this is me doing it. If I wouldn't have seen the behind the scenes. I mean, there's even music videos nowadays. Cole Bennett, he's a music video director, and he does about once or twice a year a shot on iPhone music video, but it's fully produced where the iPhone is literally in a cage with everything on it.
So impressive. Like this Mario Kart steering wheel thing.
And so it's so funny because they're like, it's shot on iPhone, but they don't talk about how it's a $20,000
like
production.
rig and maybe having like a couple lenses on there. Because I think like Usher and Kanye also did one recently that was shot on an iPhone 15 Pro Max or whatever, and it's like, okay, but how much was the setup? Was it just this, or was it like, boom? And speaking of equipment, do you use anything like mics, gimbals, lighting, or like what's kind of your setup if you're going to a business and creating content?
Yeah, so a lot of my stuff, I have not been using mics because the space is very quiet and insulated. So like clothing stores, for instance, with Bridley, I pick on her all the time. She's like one of my favorites. But it's just me and her.
Yeah.
In a very small room with dresses everywhere. So like it's just kind of the perfect setup. Yeah. But there are some situations where a mic would be really nice. And so you gave me some really good input. And I am going to get that little tiny mic.
Yes.
I'm very excited about it.
Yeah.
But it is a need. Like if you're doing those interviews with clients, if they're talking through like anything, if there's any background noise, it's just so nice to have something like that. So I will definitely be getting that in soon.
Yeah.
I already ordered it.
Oh, okay. So they're coming. It's on the way. It's on the way.
Another thing, captions.
Captions.
Captions or subtitles. I mean, I guess we can kind of go on both.
Both, yeah.
ChatGPT. What are your thoughts on
The eyebrow.
She said, "Jeez, how did you do that?" I don't even know. I think it was a very organic for me.
Am I using both eyebrows or one right now?
one.
You're going
Okay.
You're going between a little bit.
Can you do it?
No.
He looks evil.
It's because I'm bald.
Not today. Here's a little long.
Shoot.
Okay, back to
What did you
it.
ask
That's
me?
the question. Captions, subtitles.
Oh yeah, captions,
Captions.
subtitles. So do you use
No,
ChatGPT?
ChatGPT.
Yeah.
I sometimes will use ChatGPT to start me off.
100%.
Okay.
100%. Do I copy and paste that robot's words? No, ma'am. Because it sounds like a robot. Unless you take the time to say, write this caption about this event in this type of voice, and here's the audience, and here's their struggles, and here's what time they're coming in, blah, 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 which I could just type it myself.
Yeah, but
But if you're starting out, I think
someone
it's
like
good.
me,
Yeah.
that, I mean, as I said it before.
Oh,
I'm
you
kind
like
of-
ChatGPT?
Yeah.
Give him the eyebrow.
I think it's a good tool.
Yeah, but then again, like we talked about in the last episode, was you really have to train it.
Yeah, you have
You
to.
do.
You have to train
There's
it
no
really
just,
well.
Hey, write me the best caption in the world that's going to make me go viral. There's
Right. Like,
no
no.
doing that.
No. Like taking it to that point, yes, I love ChatGPT for that. I hate it when people are just like, write me a caption for this dress I'm selling.
Oh yeah.
Because
and
it's not good.
yeah.
Hey there, ladies.
Hey there, ladies. Sparkle emoji.
We have the best dress in the world. With
Cool cats and kittens.
Dude.
Too soon.
They did it. Yeah. Here at the National, our amazing leasing agent,
We're giving away
Megan,
his secrets.
she used ChatGPT for this one, and it was just very obvious. She sent it in our
It
group.
was so funny.
And it was just it
cats
started
and
off
kittens.
started straight off with hey there cats and kittens or cool cats and kittens, and I instantly was just like delete this.
I was like, make it was great though because all of us laughed
Could that
about
be the
it.
title of our?
Yeah.
Hey there cool cats
Hey.
and kittens.
Today we're talking about social media.
When we get Megan on the pod just to introduce it or like that.
The show.
Hey
This
there cool
is
cats and kittens. Today we have Megan. But still,
pretty awesome.
like that just like there's a time and a place for ChatGPT.
Yeah.
There is.
But subtitles on videos. Your thoughts? Are they beneficial or are they not? Are they too in your face?
Well, I would say I like to be as inclusive as possible. And I have friends who are like deaf, like straight up. And so to not add captions is kind of like, it's not that much extra effort. And honestly, it's great for engagement because people are going to read it, whether they think
Yeah.
about it or not. Like, you're reading the captions. So I would add them.
Yeah.
I really would. And it's a cool way to like kind of add your spin on branding. Like, I really like the captions you use. I think they look really good. Do you notice though, like, I know there's a lot of people that are like, if you use captions that aren't within the app, you get penalized. I haven't noticed that in your content
No. So
Yeah.
at all.
shout out Submagic. I'm gonna say that right now.
Yeah.
Submagic is who I personally use. It's a platform. One thing I will say about Submagic is you have to upload a specific quality to it. And so obviously if I'm doing like a 4K video, it's not gonna retain as much quality, but the quality lost to the benefits of using those
Getting it,
captions
yeah.
is so much. It's just worth it at the end of
Yeah.
the day. And being able to use like Submagic, you can do. I mean, they have like the Alex Hormozy style captions. They have all these different subtitle templates that you can use. Highly recommend it.
That's cool.
If you guys want to use Submagic to create your captions, hit the link in the description.
Yep.
You might get a discount on that.
Yes.
So just how to plug them. It's
As you should.
slight plug.
Slight
But honestly, like I've been using Submagic for 6-7 months now,
Yeah.
and I just upgraded my subscription so I could, do 100 videos a month through them,
Yeah.
and it's my favorite thing in the world.
Yeah, no. And I noticed people if you're, let's say, I don't know where you'd be at, a restaurant or, somewhere where there's a lot of people and you don't have headphones, people still are scrolling through social media. So, I've done that myself, even though
Totally.
I always carry my headphones just because I don't know, I need some music sometimes.
Yeah.
But I'll scroll and then I'm reading what's on the screen rather than having my volume up all the way and having people be like,
Shut
what's
up.
she doing? So I'm reading the captions. So if there's
Yeah.
captions on there, I'll probably honestly watch that video for a little bit and then get a little bit of engagement boost because that's just me. I've kind of noticed that a little bit. So I think captions are subtitles
Yeah,
are
subtitles.
super helpful.
I feel like having them does allow for more retention.
Yeah.
Because, especially too with, for instance, your video that we did here. There, it went from you talking to B-roll to back to you talking, and again, being all-inclusive for everybody. To where if somebody has to read your lips, but then you're not on screen no more, they don't know
They're
what's going
immediately
on.
disqualified from
Yeah.
even engaging in your content.
Exactly.
So,
And that's not cool.
So if you want to obviously be there, but also, just having different things pop up on screen, like Submagic I really love because they have the emojis.
Yes.
Like slide in and
It's
stuff
fun.
like that.
Yeah, it's
and
fun.
they change up the different animation styles. It saves me hours.
Yeah.
Because I used to do manual captions or
You
subtitles.
typed everything?
Yeah. There's been
Bless you.
lots of videos where I've had to transcribe a video
Yeah.
and then cut it and try to make it look like those. And I even tried to do it for a while, even after I started using Submagic, because I was like, it's $1 a video if you're paying for the lower one. And
Yeah.
I was like, is it really worth it? Is it not? Yeah, when it's $1 versus spending almost 3 hours sometimes on a
Yeah.
video, yeah, it's worth it. So,
For sure.
but also using in-platform captions isn't a bad idea. If
Yeah.
you don't want to spend that money, I've definitely seen like Instagram stepped it up lately. TikTok's definitely stepped it up
They
with
have,
theirs.
with their
Yeah.
in-program or
Subtitles.
subtitles. I don't know why I keep because
they're
closed
well,
captions
'cause it's
on the
closed-
TV
yeah.
and caption,
It's very
similar. Yeah.
On TikTok, it seems to do the closed caption and your caption, and they
Yeah.
overlap.
Well,
There's
sometimes-
nothing more annoying.
Yeah.
Now they're up the top, I've noticed. Or at
Are
least,
they?
At least it was like
I hope
yesterday,
so.
2 days ago.
They better
So
be.
they are.
I've seen them at the top.
Hey. Yeah, I like one thing about Instagram. So they roll out things like to everybody kind of in phases.
Yes.
So none of my clients have gotten access to some of the captions that I have that I really like. And then have y'all gotten to where like if you upload something outside like through a scheduled app, it'll what's the word? Like copyright the music and actually tag the music
Yeah.
now.
Yeah.
Which is so nice.
Yeah.
Because it was impossible to tag trending audio before
Yes.
unless it was like you posting it. And when you have multiple accounts.
It's
a
it's
lot.
tough. Yeah, no,
Yeah.
I was super excited when that
Yeah.
started happening because I was like, oh yes,
But
this is
also,
just a great tool.
Right.
when you're a business account and they take away your category of music,
Oh yeah,
that was like the most just sad
That's
thing.
why you looked sad when I said
Yeah, because I'm like, I don't get the cool music sometimes when I'm posting. That's why I added in like, as I'm editing it.
Here's a question. So I actually read this on, I don't know what I was looking at, but someone was saying instead of using a business account, don't. Like even if it is a business, that way you can get the trending sounds and you're not limited. A business shouldn't use a business account because you could get more engagement because there's no law saying if you're a business, you have to have a business account. If you just say you're, like a, whatever category account, like an influencer account or something in that category to use that so you can use all of the trending audio. So what do you think about that?
I mean, I think that sounds good.
Would
But
you, yeah.
do you still have access to everything?
Oh, because some business
like the
accounts,
background analytics and
Yeah, because some business accounts,
That's
if
true.
you have products,
yes.
And
I
you
mean-
can't sell. So
and you
yeah.
have to combine it with Shopify and like for my boutiques, for instance,
They
they wouldn't be
need-
able they would have to keep business.
So like does your personal account, can you sell stuff on it?
Yeah.
Okay.
Well, I'm under a creator account.
Okay. So
which is business or creator, right? So you can kind of.
So like a creator account though can still use all that audio.
Yeah.
So should businesses start using creator accounts?
If they're not selling products.
If they're not selling products.
Because I think in order
through
to
their
have,
site.
Yeah.
Okay.
In order to link a Shopify to it, you have to have the business account.
Have to have the business.
Sure.
Okay.
Don't quote me on that, but I'm pretty sure that's how that works.
I think they should bring the cool music back to the business accounts.
You know how annoying it is to have to use like elevator music for something cool?
But then I can understand on the other side where, say it's like Red Bull, stuff like that. Red Bull and Monster and them, they pay thousands and thousands and thousands of dollars to use 3 seconds of Drake's instrumental.
I guess that's true.
And so it's like, you can look at it that light of the whole sync industry for music is insane. Like I'm still learning about it as like my buddy Blaine's going through there. I mean, he got paid like quite a few zeros to have his instrumental and then part of his vocals in the All American TV show.
Oh, that's awesome.
And it was just random. And then ESPN did the same thing. They played like 10 seconds during like the Sports Center top 10 and he got paid again quite a bit for it.
Nice.
And it was just something where I mean they could have easily just been like, hey, let's just use it and call it a day.
Yeah.
But seeing like that side of the industry, like, it makes
a little
sense.
different. Yeah.
Are y'all up to date on? I'm sure you are. I'm mostly just saying this for other people who aren't. So if you're on TikTok and something's popping off on TikTok, 2 weeks later it's going to pop off on Instagram. There's like a 2-week span.
Yeah.
And so I have some clients that are like, they really don't need to be super trendy. Their stuff is more evergreen, so they're not super interested. I still will throw in at least for a month, like usually on Fridays, Fun Friday. But but like just being able to like see what's trending and what's working and make it work for you. That's been really cool. Have y'all noticed though, like if you don't use trending audio, do you see a huge difference if you're not jumping on it right away anymore? Like 2 months ago? Yes.
Yeah.
But now?
I haven't really seen a benefit of trending audio.
Okay, yeah.
Like,
so as of
Not lately.
Like I will say, like it's familiar, so it helps doing those trends. But from the actual trending audio page,
It's not doing it anymore.
I've never understood it either though, because the only time I watch other videos from a trending audio page is if there's a trend that I genuinely enjoy. Like the oh no, the table. That one, dude. Oh my god. I sat there and just
Add a clip,
scrolled and
please.
scrolled. Like that one. And then there's like a couple others that
So funny.
Well, and I feel like for those trends, if you're not doing the trend that
Exactly
the audio
the
is
trend.
for, then
Yes.
it's not going to benefit you nor, be a hindrance. Like, so honestly, picking audio or sounds that you feel good about, I feel like, and do that rather than using that trending audio, unless you're doing that specific trend that the audio is for, because then someone like Jacob is just going to scroll through and wait till they see your video.
If I hear the same text one more time, right, I will be throwing the table. Like I have had it, but it's like if it doesn't fit your vibe, don't use it.
Don't try and make it fit when
because in a week when it's no longer trending and you have some weird song that has nothing to do with your brand, like that sits on your account.
Yeah.
So to me, I tell clients, I'm like, listen, I'm not using that song.
Yeah.
Because it's going to look stupid with your stuff. You're not going to like it. And it's not going to get us what we want because we're not following exactly that trend.
Yeah.
So it's like, if you can make it your own, yes.
Yeah.
If it fits your vibe, yes. But don't like bend over backwards.
Yeah, don't try too hard to make something fit that's obviously not fitting. Just be you and roll with it that way. If the trending audio works, like you said,
then do it.
Let's go. If not, do something that, you like and that, you'll be happy with.
Yeah.
So there's times where trending audio.
Oh no.
That one had me. That one had me hooked for a while. There's been a couple of trends that just, I can't let go. They're just too good. They just live in my head forever.
That was like almost romantic. I can't let go. I can't let go.
There's some.
These trends.
But man,
Yeah.
What a time.
What a time. We did it.
We did it. Go team. Your first podcast.
This is my first podcast. Oh, I said it wrong.
Well, actually, now we're done. Did you enjoy
This
it?
was my first podcast. I loved it. It was fun. Y'all are so chill.
Hey, appreciate you. If you guys are interested, definitely feel free to check out Taylor. I would highly suggest you go and follow her. Great content.
Yeah. Where can they find you? What can they find you on?
Yes. So firstly, if you need affordable, like starting at $10 help just to learn how to like audit your socials, how to make a content calendar, like I've built this all out for you and I have a training. It's all really affordable because I genuinely just want to help people. Like $10, please give me a coffee. But that's on TaylorRains.com. Okay. And my Instagram, TaylorRains321. My TikTok is Taylor Rains Music. Okay. Because I do music. I play the banjo.
You play the banjo?
I was like, I have a banjo upstairs, so I'll go grab it. Do you really? I really do. I have a banjo upstairs.
She does have a banjo.
Do you play the Beyonce song?
All the time, no.
So, again, before we wrap this up, I really do want to say thank you for coming onto the pod, Taylor.
Thanks for having
me. But we didn't even really mention it all this episode because we're just locked in. Commerce Connects Live is going to be our live Q&A. So if you guys have any questions, Taylor will be here. And, make sure you guys come with the questions. But, again, I just want to say thank you, Taylor, for coming on.
Yeah. No, y'all are so much fun to hang out with. Like, even just our chats outside of this, it's pretty much just this. Like, it's just continuous banter. So, for real, thanks for having me. It's been so much fun. And hopefully people got some good gems and feel a little more confident about what they're doing. But one of my favorite things is just helping. So, people can just reach out. Yeah. Yeah, for real.
100%.
Definitely.
Or hire me. I don't
know. Hire her, everybody.
The eyebrow.
I can't even do it again, but.
The eyebrow. Hannah, where can they find you?
Han got handles on everything.
Cool.
Follow me, because I got the handles.
And you can follow me at jclark.jpg, the letter J, CLARK.jpg.